Hello, and welcome to The Porch with Elishea Barlow. Hi, I'm Elishea Barlow, author of The Porch, a place for enjoyment, conversation with people, reflection, and encouragement. Hi, I'm here with Jayne Benkendorf. Am I saying it correctly?
That's close, Elishea. It's Benkendorf.
Benkendorf. I am here with Miss Jayne Benkendorf. She is with BL Farms, okay, which is located in Enid.
Right, just east of Enid, yes.
And we are going to talk about, she's got some things coming up on April 29th in regards to just healthy living and knowing what we're eating and the positive and negative intake of that our bodies are getting and receiving and how we can change that. But I kind of want to talk about your farm first, and then let's kind of dive into your presentation that you'll be doing in a couple of weeks. So at B&L Farms, what is it that you raise and what do you sell?
Okay, well, and let me just say that BF stands for Benkendorf Family Farms.
Okay.
Because it's been in our family now over 100 years. So that's me, that's kind of exciting.
That's a long time.
Right. And so what we do now, we raise 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef and lamb.
Okay. Now, you said it's been in the family for over 100 years, but you're just now, well, not just now, but you're recently selling beef and lamb. What were you doing? What was the farm for 100 years ago?
100 years ago, as I understand, it started out with a dairy.
Dairy farm.
Yeah, they sold milk and had chickens and sold eggs and that kind of thing. And they were subsistent farmers. And yes, and then it went into farming actually crops, like mainly wheat, because that's big wheat country around Enid.
Okay.
So it was mainly wheat, few other things, but primarily wheat. And that's what my husband and I did for a few years. We drove the tractors together and all of that.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now you said that you raise and sell, you said grass-fed and grass-finished.
Yes.
What is the difference between grass-fed and grass-finished? What is that?
You know, it's so interesting. In the grocery store, when we see the sign at the meat counter that says grass-fed, we assume that those animals, the cattle, have had only grass their whole lives. That is almost 100% not true.
Okay.
They are on the grass part of their lives, but then they've been finished. That means the last, probably 3 months, about 3 months, they're finished on corn. Genetically modified corn. So we do not do that. Ours are grass-fed and grass-finished. They never get corn or any grain.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me just kind of say that again so that I can make sure I understand. They're fed grass for a particular time in their lives, but toward the end of their lives, they're finished with also grass.
Yes, our animals are. Yes, they grass all the time, all their lives.
Okay, all right, good deal. And why did you all do that? I mean, what is the significance of being grass-fed versus having corn? And I know that there's some downfall to that, but you're the farmer and.
Well, let me just tell you why we changed from farming. That means tilling the soil. Okay, we were destroying the soil.
Okay.
And we said, we're going to stop doing that.
Okay.
So we put it back where it's sustainable now. We do not plow and do all those types of things at all. Because that, putting the commercial fertilizers in and doing the plowing of the ground, it absolutely destroyed the soil.
Okay.
So we just said enough is enough, and we're going to raise animals like they should be raised, without corn, because cattle and sheep and other animals, there are some other animals, are called ruminant. That means they have 4 stomachs, and they should never, ever have grain, only the grasses. Mm-hmm. So that's what we decided to do. And that we've been doing it now about 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Wonderful. So you're kind of in a holistic component of providing information and selling food products to people. And so you have something that's going on April 29th that's not necessarily related to your farming, but it is related to making sure that people understand what they're eating and that they're eating nutritious foods. What is this? What's going on?
Okay, this is information that I feel that everyone needs to know if they want to put good food in their body, food and drink. For example, what we buy at the store, so much of it is processed.
Mm-hmm.
Processed meaning like in a box, in a can, in a bag, or whatever. It's processed. And that processing destroys nutrients. But not only that, it's like, for example, the additives and preservatives, yes. In fact, 32 years ago, I wrote the book called The Food Bible, where I talk about additives and preservatives and what they can do to the body. Different preservatives do different things, but they're all toxic. But anyway, just take flour, for example, wheat flour.
Mm-hmm.
Now the wheat crop before, not only wheat, but wheat, barley, rye, and rice are sprayed with Roundup before it's harvested. Roundup contains this very toxic chemical called glyphosate. I think most people know about glyphosate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sprayed on the crop right before harvest. That's to dry the crop.
Now, Roundup, if I'm not mistaken, I know is used as a weed killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's been a lot of litigations going on in regards to Roundup. So people are still using Roundup, even with all that's going on?
Oh, my goodness. It is. Yes, definitely. Yes, it is an herbicide.
Okay.
And it was invented, so to speak, to use with GMO crops, genetically modified crops like soybeans and corn. So whenever you spray a field with the Roundup, it kills the weeds, but not the corn or the soybeans or whatever crop it is.
Okay.
That's why it was created, simply so the farmer wouldn't have to work the field. It would kill the weeds.
Okay.
Okay. But now then, it's being sprayed right before harvest, like I said, on wheat, barley, oats, and there's another one, rice. Right before harvest, it's to dry it. The purpose is to dry the crop because back when we were wheat farmers, we would take the wheat to the elevator, and there'd be a big probe that would go down into the wheat and test the moisture. If there's moisture in that kernel, in those kernels, then you're docked. In other words, you do not get as much money for your crop because it contains moisture. So the farmer says, okay, I will spray my fields with this glyphosate or Roundup, and so all of my kernels will be dry. That way I'll get more money when I go to the elevator.
Okay.
And glyphosate is extremely toxic to the body.
Okay.
And just think, flour, wheat flour, what do we eat that's made with wheat flour? Just think of the products.
Okay.
Just think what we're putting into our bodies.
So you'll be talking about that component and what else? I mean, there's just different things.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things that people are not aware of. So I definitely want to bring that out. But also, just think of all of the chemicals that are in the processed foods, like sulfites and nitrites, and what foods are they in? But not only these are bad for us, what are some good choices? So I'm absolutely going to have examples of good choices there.
And so what are some of the good choices that you will be talking about?
Like bread, for example. Okay, so bread is going to contain glyphosate because it's flour.
Yes.
Okay, so I will have a loaf of bread there that's showing this does not have glyphosate. And it'll have the brand name. It will be, I'll have it there. There will be other products just the same
Okay.
that I can show that, okay, this does not contain, like nitrites, for example.
Okay. Okay.
And that is definitely cancer causing. Nitrites are.
So the information that you'll provide will talk about the negative things that are in some of the foods, but you'll also give a list of
Yeah.
foods or brands that people can look at and go look for themselves that do not have those particular carcinogens or
Yeah.
negative products in the
Yes,
food.
absolutely. That's the idea,
Yes.
to educate people with, okay, what is the negative, but then what are the positive
Well,
that
that's
I
good
can
because
choose?
you hear so much about the negative, the negative, the negative, and now
Right.
people are like, "Well, gosh, it's in everything. What can I eat?"
Exactly.
And so you're going to say, "These are some things that you can eat. These are some things that you can go get."
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
And
Good.
that's the reason I wrote the Food Bible 30 some years ago. It does list products that are free of specific harmful additives and preservatives,
Mm-hmm.
and to help people go to the grocery store and just buy the products that are there. So that was the purpose of that. And of course, 32 what was on the shelf 32 years ago is certainly not there now.
Yes.
But what I feel like what I'm going to do now, though, is educate people so they know what to look for when they go to the grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. So where is this being held?
It's at it's the Northwest Library at 100 on 122nd Street, just east of MacArthur. It's
Okay.
called the Patience Latting Library.
Okay.
But it's 100 on 126. There's a Sprouts grocery store right on the
Yes.
corner. Okay, it's just
There's some type of big statue of some sort in front of that library.
yes, there
I
is.
can't think of what it is,
Me either.
but there's something
Yes,
there. So it's a very
yes,
it's a nice size library.
yes,
Yes.
yes. It's a big
Okay.
library just
Okay.
east of Sprouts on 122nd. Yeah.
Okay. And what time?
Oh, it's Saturday the 29th at 11 o'clock. So
Okay.
and we picked the date, or I picked the date, because I think Saturday is normally good. It depends on if people have kids playing ball games. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But at 11 o'clock, and it'll probably last, I would say, about 40 minutes, something
Okay.
like that. And people have a chance to then maybe go have lunch, whatever. But I want to say something. It is not a lecture. I am not going to lecture. It's going to be a discussion. I
Okay.
want questions, comments, whatever from the participants, from the audience. I want
Okay.
people to participate.
Okay. So what
Yes.
type of questions are you wanting people to come up with? I mean, what kind of questions do you anticipate maybe getting from people? Because some people may come here and they just don't even know what to expect. They know that you're going to talk about foods and products that are good and maybe things that they should be aware of and things that are good, but how would they know what to really
I
how to
would
communicate
think that
their thoughts?
some people might have some product that they really, really like, and they're going to ask me, "Is this okay?" I mean, I could imagine that happening.
Okay.
And if they have it with them, I can look at the ingredients and tell them.
Okay.
That's another thing. When we look at a product on the shelf, it's going to headline, on the front of the box or the whatever, it may say natural. It may say no GMOs, all of these different things that are so attractive that we think are healthy.
Are they not?
Maybe not. We need to know the ingredients. That is so critical. And even sometimes the ingredients, it can say natural, and that natural might have MSG in it or something else that is not good for us, that is toxic. So we can't always know by looking at the ingredients, because not everything is in there.
Okay.
It's hidden under
The title.
natural or whatever.
So the
Yes.
title would be natural, but we need to look beyond the title or beyond
Exactly.
the subtitles and see what it was actually in there.
Exactly.
So people are going to start really carrying a list
Yeah.
with them. Is
Yeah.
is that something that you would propose people to start doing? Just kind of carrying a list of things that they should not eat, ingredients to be aware of, or
Yes, that would be good.
How would a person really start training themselves to know what to look for, what's good for them, what's not good for them?
That would be a really good thing, at least some of the major ones.
Okay.
Yes, yes. In fact, I encourage people when they come Saturday to be prepared to take notes.
Okay.
So whatever that is, if it's an iPad or if it's a paper and pencil, whatever, be prepared to take notes.
Okay. All right. And how you said you wrote this book 30 years ago. So have you been, I guess, at least 30 years that you've been really looking at the natural intake of foods and positive and negative intake of foods? I mean, what
Long
got
time.
you on this journey?
My goodness, Elishea, it was a long time ago whenever I used to be quite a bit overweight, and I went on all kinds of diets. You name it, I did it. And I got really, really sick on one of them, and I said, I'm never going to diet ever again, but I had to learn how to eat because I didn't know.
Okay.
So that was my journey. That was a long time ago. And as I learned the types of foods to eat for health, I also learned then about the chemicals that were in foods. So I wanted to avoid those. So it's been a journey.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
That's why I ask. So sometimes there's a journey. There's something that catapults a person to do the things that they do, and you seem to be really into this. You've written a book about it. We go to a business group together sometimes, and you kind of talk about things during that business meeting, which is on Thursday mornings. Really enjoy that. And so, I've met you before. We've known each other in other settings.
Yes,
So.
yes, we have. We've known each other a while.
Yes. So let me ask you this. Now, I myself, for like vegetables, I try to buy things that are frozen vegetables or fresh vegetables. Any concerns in that aspect? Because
check your ingredient label.
Even for frozen or fresh vegetables?
No, well, not the fresh. The fresh organic is always the best.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But frozen, like check your package because a lot of times sugar will be added.
Okay.
Now, that's another thing about sugar. Sugar, if an ingredient on a package says sugar, it's from the sugar beet.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar beets are genetically modified. Sugar cane is not.
Okay. Well, and it'll say that, sugar beet or sugar cane.
It will not say beet, sugar beet. But if it just says sugar, it is from sugar beets.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will say sugar cane.
Okay.
And that's from cane.
Okay.
And it's not genetically modified.
Okay.
Which is GMO. A lot of people maybe not know genetically modified, but that's what GMO is, genetically modified organisms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up. So I am excited about this. I hope that people take heed to what you're talking about and meet you there on Saturday, April 29th at 11 o'clock at the library on 122nd. That's going to be east of MacArthur.
Just barely east.
Okay.
Yeah.
At 11 o'clock. Oh, is there a cost for it?
No.
So this is free information.
That's right.
Free information. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you for joining me on the porch and telling me about this and sharing the information. And I hope that others heed to the information as well.
I hope people come and learn,
Right.
and just make one change at a time.
Thank you for listening and joining me on the porch. Remember to take time to reflect, share memories, and engage with others on your porch. And I'll meet you here next time on The Porch, your podcast for community conversations. Brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.